not looking at it from God's side, but looking at it from men's side, what word would you use? Okay? Now, she even laughed, didn't she? Okay?
Perplexing.
Perplexing. Anything else? Do you think the word impossible fits in here pretty well? Okay, we're talking about being past the years of childbearing. Going to have a child? Whoa! No wonder Sarah laughed. We can't expect Sarah to be on the same level with God, because God knows everything. And God had a plan. And when he shared that plan, it blew their mind. Well, at least Sarah. Okay? So impossible. You might have come across the name of a genius. Are there any geniuses that you can think of that you look back on history and say, now, that was a genius?
Einstein.
Who?
Einstein.
Einstein. He was well known for being way out of the norm. Anything? What's that?
Tesla.
Thomas Edison.
Okay, yes. Thomas Edison. What was it? They said to him after they were trying experiments for light bulbs, they had done experiments for what, 1,000? Or it was some big number like that, wasn't it? And they were pretty much all discouraged except for Thomas Edison. He said, we just found 1,000 ways it won't work. Now let's find out how it works. Well, Henry Ford, you might reckon, anybody driving a Ford today? No Fords? We got one Ford.
Lincoln.
What's that?
Lincoln, that's Ford.
Yep, that is. Well, Henry Ford was a genius, and he came up with a revolutionary idea. And the revolutionary idea, I mean, it's not revolutionary to us, but back then it was to come up with a V8 engine. Do you remember your first V8 engine? I do. What's that?
Yeah, Mustang.
Mustang?
Yeah.
That would get up and move, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
I think our 57 Chevy might have been a V8. I know. I'm not positive on that one.
Okay.
It was a Sport. I know.
My daddy sold me a Ford Falcon for $700. It was a stick shift on the column, 3. And we went to the Ford garage. It was a dealership. Ford dealership, just in case you were wondering. Anyway, our uncle was one of the leading salesmen there. In fact, I believe he owned part of the company, Alfred Wise. And so while we were in there, I was with Dad. I don't know if there was anybody else with us. We were looking at some of the cars and come across this hatchback Ford Torino. Had a shift on the floor, but it wasn't, a stick shift. It was automatic. It was in the middle, and it was a 360 four-barrel carburetor. And my dad, I think he laughed it, and so he encouraged me to take my Falcon and trade it in on it, and I did. My payments, I think, were something like $63 a month. I was working at the time. I was in college at the time. But before it ended up, my father, I must have been getting close. I don't know what it was, but he paid off the rest of it for me. That's not being recorded, is it? I don't want my brother and sister to. It's already out. They're recording it. Okay. All right. Sorry, Gerald. Anyway, wow, that thing would move. That would get up and move. Well, he came up with this idea of a V8 engine. And he had people to draw up the plans. And Then he sent it to the engineers. Ooh. Another story that I read, they were the story was talking about some big idea that the boss had, and they were going to have this meeting, and he told all of his engineers to leave their slide rule at the door. Because he didn't want to be talking about this idea, and they're running their slide rule and saying, "Oh, it's impossible." He didn't want that to happen. Leave your slide rules at the door. Well, these engineers